What is up, party people? How we doing? Welcome. We're going to be joined by my beloved wife, Lisabilyeu, in moments. Should be a lot of fun. We're going to be announcing, or I guess I am announcing, that Impact Theory now has a new addition to the suite of offerings that we have, which is Relationship Theory. For anybody that has been wanting that show to come back, we've got it for you. I am very excited that it's finally coming back. We had it live for quite a while, and then because we were trying to use what is ultimately a poor strategy, which is having all shows on one channel, it wasn't working well enough. But now we have launched Relationship Theory on its own channel, and Lisa and I are going to be talking about that as soon as she joins me and sends that request to go live. So yes, should be good fun. So welcome everybody. I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope that you are enjoying quarantine with somebody that you love, or are using quarantine as an opportunity to get better, to be the kind of person that people would want to be locked up with. Time. And now, without further ado, here is Lisabilyeu joining us to talk relationship theory. And what is up, baby? Welcome to the show.
Hello! Will you tell everyone that I'm always late for everything?
You are always late. You have a really bad reputation in my mind of being tardy at all times. So thank you for living up to that reputation.
We want to disappoint you, baby.
You came through in fine style, my dear.
All right, so have you already told people that we launched Relationship Theory?
I did. We are now live with Relationship Theory on YouTube and the podcast, if I'm not mistaken. So very exciting times are upon us. What's the name of the channel? Just Relationship Theory, or did we have to?
He's so funny, guys. This is exactly. He's like, oh, we launched today. What's the channel name? Love you to bits, babe. Yes, it's Relationship Theory. Go over to YouTube right now. Everyone, just every time we meet people, they're always like, oh, bring back Relationship Theory. Now, we tried it on your channel. It didn't work because a lot of people wanted just mindset. They didn't necessarily want the relationship side of it. So we made sure, yeah. Shame. So we basically re-released it. It's out today, guys, and we've got some giveaways. We're doing like a come and join us, have a date with the Bilyeus. So in order to go over to our channel, you have to subscribe, and then you have to comment on one of the videos. If you do that, guys, you're entered to come and join Tom and I, whether you're single and you just want advice on being single, whether it's advice on being in a couple. And yeah, so go over. And now we've got some questions. Guys, we're answering questions live. Tom's doing some stickers. I had to give him a little test. Let's see if he can do it.
Let's see how we do.
Come on, baby.
Let's see how we do. All right. Here we go. You guys, am I supposed to read them, or are you reading them?
You can read them.
Okay, so here we go. You guys are couple goals. How have you made your relationship last almost 20 years? So this, I really wish that we had been documenting from the early days. So first of all, we started off, there were some things that we did that were really moronic, and then other things that we were very thoughtful about right from the jump. So one of the things that we were super thoughtful about from the jump was communication, defining rules of engagement. So how should you speak to each other? What's okay? What's not okay? And then we have certain sort of values in our relationship that have been incredibly beneficial. One of them being to uplift your partner, and recognizing that relationships they come with compromises and things that you give up. So they better be fucking awesome. And the only thing that I can think of that makes a relationship worth the compromises is if you feel better about yourself when you're with the person than when you're without them. And if you're with a partner that lifts you up and celebrates you, but holds you to a fucking standard and wants you to be amazing, like my wife, who is recently I've been noticing this as I try to write women in the comics and stuff. I really think about what are dynamics in a relationship, and I'm now seeing this more and more in film and TV. A role that women often play is by making demands of the male to rise to their potential, which I find is very accurate to our relationship and something that I admire very much in women.
But to just add, you gave me permission to do that, right? It's going to be super important to make sure that the other person is. Am I coming across weird, by the way? My audio is really bad on my end.
You sound fine to me. I wouldn't want this to be an ADR session, but you sound fine.
All right, let me know, guys, if this is really bad. But you gave me permission to do that, because that's the thing. If you didn't tell me you had goals and dreams and that you wanted me to be a part of helping you get there, then it just becomes I'm the badgering wife that's moaning at my husband. But you told me exactly what you wanted in life, exactly who you wanted to be. And it was my job as your wife to hold you to that, because I want to see you happy. I want to see you grow and change and achieve your goals. And if I see you slacking, my job is to help you and push you, and same vice versa, right? You call me on my shit, but let me tell you, I have to give you permission, because otherwise it would become this emotional battle where I'm like, I can't believe you said that to me.
I agree with all that. What's weird is that there are people saying that your sound is bad, but it sounds absolutely normal on my end. And
I'm going to try taking my headset off.
Okay. And you've just frozen and disappeared. I have no idea if people are still with me, but you are frozen. I'm guessing you're dealing with your Bluetooth, maybe. So anyway, yes, I gave Lisa permission, but also in the beginning, going back to the things that we didn't do well, we weren't good at like enumerating that stuff in the beginning. In the beginning, it was sort of fumbling through it. I would make these grand proclamations about who I was going to become, but then sort of whine and whinge, and then she would hold me accountable and inspire me to be better and do better, and that worked incredibly well. All right, I'm going to find another question. I feel like we addressed that one.
Yeah. And while you found that, guys, let me know, is my audio better? I've taken it off.
You sound exactly the same to me, but...
Michelle,
okay, so here's an
please let me know.
Tom, how can you keep your eyes only on your wife? All right, everybody ready? And I love that you're here while I answer this.
You have to get rid of the question.
What?
You didn't get rid of the question.
Why would I get rid of it? Are
It's
you
the same
lagging
question,
behind
babe.
me? On my side, it's a new question that says, Tom, how can you keep your eyes only on your wife? So I don't know.
You put it as a sticker question?
Yeah. On my side. I'm gonna take a screenshot. Here we go. This is it. My wife's a heckler.
Oh, so in fact,
there we go. I will show you later that it is exactly what you want it to be on my side. Okay, now, if the rest of the world sees something different, I can't speak to that. So the answer to the question, how can I keep my eyes only on my wife, is that I don't. There are other hot women in the world. With that, there is no question. And when Lisa and I first got together, I said, hey, can we be really honest for a second? It actually would make me insecure if you're just telling me you only look at me. I know that's bullshit. I know that you're going to find other people attractive. So don't put me in some weird thing where I have to lie to you and tell you that I only have eyes for you or some shit like that. If I think somebody's hot, I'm going to look and say, hey, that person's fucking hot. But I'm never going to do anything that makes you feel like you're not my one and fucking only. You are the center of my universe. I am dedicated to you. I would die for you. I'm not going to die for some random ass hot chick. Like, you're the person I'm going to share my fucking life with. And the fact that I find them hot and don't go have sex with them tells you all you need to know. You don't need to worry about me. I will never fucking cheat on you, because what I value is a shared life. I want to share this life with you. And if I have to give up sleeping with other women, so be it. But don't think that somehow I'm not a biological human. If somebody's hot, I'm going to find them hot. Fucking period. End of story. And so I don't want you to feel like you can't find somebody hot. Don't go sleep with them. But if you find them attractive, you can say you find them attractive. I'm not insecure like that. So I wouldn't expect you to be insecure like that. And if you make the other person feel like you're number one, like you are about them in a way that is so deep and fundamental, it doesn't matter. And so it got to the point where we were at a pool party one time at a normal fucking hotel. I still can't believe this happened. We were at a normal hotel, and my wife literally tapped me on the shoulder and was like, yo, there's two chicks topless making out over there. You need to check this out. And I was like, that's my wife, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. It was amazing.
But I think that comes to, though, when we first met, because I wasn't confident like I am now. So when we first met, you reassured me, like you were saying, you have to make them feel a certain way. And you were the first guy that I ever had, 'cause my ex-boyfriend used to be really like mean about, like, I used to say Brad Pitt's abs were amazing, and the amount of arguments I would get over just saying Brad, it's not like I had the chance to go and actually with Brad Pitt, but so like his jealousy was unfounded. But I remember he used to get really, really upset, and I used to think, oh, okay, you can never say someone else is attractive. And then I met you, and you were like, babe, isn't it more powerful that I find a lot of women attractive, and vice versa? You find a lot of men attractive, but you choose
And
me.
want to be with you and am committed to you.
And you choose exactly. And isn't that the point? Like, if you had two worlds where you absolutely find no other women attractive ever, and you're with me, or you find a lot of women attractive and yet you're still with me, which one's more powerful? So I think the problem though is the fear that someone's going to act on it. I think that becomes the biggest issue. And what you had spoken about, you even said like, babe, I find you really hot now, but in your 90s, you're going to be a big bag of wrinkles. And so I need to love you and what you bring to the table. And again, this goes both ways. But then we don't have to be insecure about getting old.
Church. And that was actually what made me want to say that in the beginning, is like, look, you're hot now, and I'm going to enjoy this phase. I'm going to enjoy you being hot. Like, I don't take that for granted at all. But one day you're not. Like, you may be hot for a 90-year-old. Like once we put you in that class.
Oh, I will be.
But I have no doubt. Literally everything you've ever done tells me that you will be the hottest 90-year-old around, but you're still going to be fucking 90. And that, like, not wanting you to be insecure, because so many women, as their youth and beauty fades, they feel valued only for youth and beauty. And so I was like, let me just tell you this shit now. I'm enjoying it. You're young and beautiful. I love it. I'm going to have fun with that. But it isn't going to last forever. Don't think that that's what I value you for. It's a fun perk, but what I value you for is this shared life that we're having, that you make me feel better about myself when I'm with you than when I'm not, that you compliment me, that you push me to be a better version, like all that fucking complicated shit that's hard to boil down. But it's like, being hot is just like, oh yeah, that's cool, that's fun. Like, I've always focused on every phase of life has something to offer, right? Mm-hmm. So youth and beauty really is a thing, but so is being young and dumb. And it's like, as you mature and get wiser, I'm going to enjoy that. And if that comes with, you know, some sags and wrinkles, and having been like, was it our 1-year anniversary? I gave you a 50-year anniversary card. Do you remember that?
I do. I might have it. Oh, look.
Dude, I really hope you do, because that was like, I was being sincere. It's like, no, I'm committed. And when we've been married for 50 years, you know, you'll be what, 72? So it's like, at that point, it's not about looks anymore. It's, you know, the things that mattered a whole lot more. And I just wanted you to know it matters more even now.
Yeah. And if, in case people are just joining, so we've released the Relationship Theory YouTube channel where we talk very deeply about all of these things. We call it the No BS Relationship channel, because you're just going to get the realities of how Tom and I talk and how we've managed to navigate our relationship in 20 years, or going on 20 years in October. So guys, go over to YouTube. We also we're doing a giveaway, a contest, I should say. So if you subscribe and if you leave a comment in one of the videos, you are entered to win a 15-minute hangout with me and Mr. Bilyeu. So go ahead, go over now. And one thing I want to add though is, when we got together, we said it was going to be forever, like till we're 90, till we're 100. And we had to acknowledge the realities of the way the world is. Over time, right, when I met you, you were young and broke. You're not so young and broke anymore. So your value, your evaluation has gotten better over the years. Women, just whether we like it or not, our evaluation has gotten worse over the years, right? We women, if you go, in fact, I'll let you say it, because maybe it's gonna come out wrong if I say it. Like, yes, I'll leave you to say it.
So, and look, these are just studies. So we're not passing judgment on this, not saying that we wish that this were so, but men are valued when you take women in a psychological study and test them, this is what the results you get. Men are valued for their access to resources, or, this is really fucking interesting, their potential access to resources. So Lisa invested in me when I had no resources, but she obviously saw something where she believed that she could turn me into the badass that she wanted, which is so fucking fascinating, the dynamics between men and women. But anyway, so their ability to either have access to resources or the ability to gain access in the future. Women are valued for their ability to be fertile. And so what's really fucking interesting, this graph of what age men find women attractive and what age women find men attractive. Ready for this shit? Women always find men attractive within 2 years of their own age. So 2 years up to 2 years down. So a 4-year span. Whatever age a woman is, she finds a guy within 2 years up or 2 years down attractive. A guy, no matter his age, finds a woman peak attractiveness at age 22. So whether he's 18, finds a 22-year-old attractive. Whether he's 90, he finds a 22-year-old attractive. It is fucking hilarious. And also the thing that so worried me about you, specifically and women in general, is that they then think that once they're in a relationship, a committed relationship, that that remains the thing that people give a shit about. I don't give a shit about whether you can bear children. I don't even want kids. I don't want you to have kids. So fuck, it's actually better for me if you can't have kids. So once you're in a committed relationship, it's like, yes, there are sort of ingrained things in my brain that I will respond to. The way that a woman stores fat, the distribution of her fat, the health of her skin, the symmetry of her face. Like, there are programs in my brain telling me that's fucking attractive. But when I think about what am I willing to sacrifice to be with someone that makes me feel good, that I can be myself around, that lifts me up, that makes me laugh, that likes the shit I like, that's like my favorite human to be around, that I've shared this existence with, that trumps fucking everything. So that's key. That's where you were going. Now we have a new question. Do you see it on your side?
I do not, but I just want to add one more thing. I know you're going to, one more thing to that, because the reason why I wanted you to explain it is, for me, while I don't like that that's true, I live, what is the phrase that you say, live in the world that is, not the world that you wish it was. And so what you and I do is you bring these studies to me, because you do a lot of reading, way more than I do. You bring these studies to me and then we talk, right? It's like, God, I wish it wasn't fucking true. But if it is, now what do we do about it? It's like, I'm not going to whine over the fact that it could be true or not. I can't freaking say 22 whether I wanted to or not, which I don't. But even if I wanted to. So me and you take these types of studies and stats and the way of the world and go, if this is true, what do we do about it so that me and you can navigate it in order for us to be married for another 100 years?
Sure.
Okay, new question.
Someone in the comments just asked, can we clown Tom? I want to believe that was a typo and that they want to clone Tom, but just in case it's clown, I'm not sure where to go with that. Here's our new question. Any advice for couples looking to tie the knot? Inega?
Apart from go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe to Relationship Theory.
Look at that self-promotion. Relationship Theory on YouTube. It's live. Go now, or anywhere you get your podcasts.
I'm really hot. Yes. I actually wanted to say this earlier. So with all the advice we're giving, every single piece of advice we've ever given, this is what it comes down to.
What's up, Jenna Kutcher?
Degenerate! What up, James? The truth is, even with every piece of advice we give, guys, it all comes down to, are you both willing to do the work? Like, that's the piece of advice that I got, because ultimately, everything that we say and do, we both are on board. We both have to be emotionally sober. We both have to be considerate of the other person. We both have to navigate our own feelings and navigate the other person's feelings. Like, but we're both willing to do it. And where sometimes I get stuck and I find it very difficult to give advice is that, like, what if my partner's got a fixed mindset? And actually, we've got an episode that covers that, because that's really difficult. If you both have a growth mindset and you both want to work on your relationship no matter what, you can overcome anything. And so I don't know how you feel about that, but that's exactly like, before you get married, you just have to agree. Are we willing to work on it no matter what? And are we each other's priorities no matter what?
Yeah, so I would, just to take a different approach, and you're 100% right on all of that. People need to do the work on, like, understanding the nature of a relationship. So the biggest breakthrough in my life was when I realized the truth of the following statement. You are having a biological experience. So humans have biological imperatives. The mind works in a certain way. You are going to perceive things in a certain way. And it's what I call the physics of being human. So once you understand the physics of being human and the way that humans think and the differences between men and women and all of this stuff becomes a lot easier. And I remember, and this is going to sound like I'm joking, but this really is part of what has made me successful in a relationship. So when I was young, I had no game. I wanted to get laid so badly, and I just had no idea how to do it. I was so bad. And I would show up with flowers and poetry on a first date, and I would just get friend zoned so hard. And if people think I'm joking, I literally mean flowers and a poem written for that person, for that date, like the whole fucking nine. And it just didn't work. And I was really flustered. So I started reading, and I admittedly had started reading long before this, but it ended up beginning to pay off. So I started reading like Cosmo magazine and all that stuff, because the joke around guys don't know where the clitoris is, like that just seemed like a solvable problem. So I'm like, I'm going to go in, since I have time, I can't get sex. So let me at least be ready when it finally happens. So I knew where that shit was. I was ready to rock. I was locked and loaded. And by reading like women's magazines and understanding how they think and like hearing them talk when they think they're only talking to other women was really fucking interesting. Because when people are broadcasting and they think that they're talking to a greater world, they posture and pose a lot more than getting into the real shit when you think you're only talking to like your girlfriends. And so that was really powerful. And having that understanding and recognizing that, you know, biology, neurochemistry, anatomy, psychology, like that was going to be the name of the game. And so you okay over there?
Yeah, I was trying to find my book, The Female Brain. I was going to show it how it literally
so
changed.
good. Yeah, reading that book is a must. In fact, that will be my advice. Any advice for couples looking to tie the knot, read The Female Brain. That will help you, male and female both.
The reason why it really did, and you can find another question while I just say this, but the reason why it really at least helped me is there were so many things that like we would frustrate each other over. Like, I don't understand. Why does he always do this? Like, I don't get it. Once I read The Brain and understood how your brain developed versus my brain as being male versus female, there's actually no judgment anymore. Like, I hate to say that I was judging you a little, but I'm like, oh, bless him, it's his brain. And actually do say that. But like vice versa, you know, just understanding that we're not the same has really helped me.
All right, speaking of not being the same, do you guys watch anime together? So for anybody that's been following me, we're trying to build the next Disney, and I need to get good at anime. That's way outside the scope of this conversation. So I spend an inordinate amount of time watching anime, which my wife does not usually watch. Every now and then I'll be able to convince her to try something. But having things that you can do together and then finding things that you do alone and having selfish time, I think is really important. And one of the key breakthroughs for us was recognizing that I don't want to spend every second of my day with you. I want time to myself. And because it's so easy for me to admit that to myself, I figured, well, the same must be true for her. Now, dude, when we're together, I fucking love it. You are my favorite human in the world. There is no high for me higher than time with you. In fact, and people are going to get the wrong impression if you haven't followed me for very long, but my favorite thing in the universe, like if I could bottle a sensation and have with me all the time, it is being drunk with you. Like literally alcohol drunk. I hardly drink at all because it's so fucking bad for your health. But I do indulge every so often. It is the most fun that I have ever, is being in that little emotional bubble with you. And so that's like my highest high is time with just you. But yet there are things that I want to do by myself and that are completely selfish, and my life has to include that shit. And so we have those conversations and we carve that time out for ourselves.
Yeah, I saw so many couples where, so you go to the mall, you always see the guy outside falling asleep or on his phone, bored to death. And vice versa, a lot of time I would see the wives of guys who would sit in, like watching football, and they're like, oh God, here we go, another game. And I just thought, like, if you're not having fun, either like do your own thing and come back together and do something you both enjoy, or learn to love the thing because you're sharing it. But sitting there and being resentful of your of your partner doing something while you're just sitting there suffering, it never made sense to me. So me and you are definitely like, if we're going shopping, then either don't come with me, or you come and you choose clothes and you're like, babe, you look so sexy in this. But you don't just ever sit down and get bored and it's like, are you done? Are you done? I'd rather you not be with me. But we have those discussions, right? Like, is it meaningful for me to sit there with you, or is it not? But yeah.
Truth.
Another
All
question.
right, somebody just said I'm not reading comments. I am reading comments, but I have a feeling I missed whatever I'm not addressing that you're saying I'm not reading comments for. But do submit questions. We have a few more minutes.
Yeah.
And so this question from Benja Lubies: how do you approach each other to have a conversation to set the meaning of words for each other? Which has been a huge win for us, is going in and defining words. Important is a word that we define, which means stop the fucking presses. No matter what you're doing, stop immediately. And this thing matters. So unless there, literally in 20 years, only one time have I said something is important and Lisa said the opposite thing is important. Once. Every other time in 20 years, because neither of us ever abuse it. If you say something is important, the other person is going to address that thing. So it could be, I want you to take me out for my birthday. It could be, I need you to spend more quality time with me this week. It could be, I need more selfish time, whatever. But if you're very sparing in saying this thing is important to me, then the other person's gonna be like, yo, you said it was important. We're gonna fucking address it. That has been such a big win for us. If my wife calls me 3 times in a row, if I were about to launch the space shuttle, I would immediately stop and be like, yo, we're going to have to, everybody just hit pause, because she's only done it once. But in that time...
Called 3 times in a row once.
Right, exactly. So the first time I was like, it's not a good time. Second time I was like, oh shit, like this might be something, but nope. And then third time I was like, I was in the middle of a business meeting and I was like, guys, I'm so sorry. But my wife and I have a rule that if she calls 3 times, I answer. I answered. Long story, won't derail on that. But another one, promise for us is another one. If you say you promise you're going to do something, like if I say I'm going to do it, I'll try. If I say I promise I'm going to do it, fucking come hell or high water, I'm going to do it.
And not once have you broken that promise. And I think he asked when you come up with those. I'm not sure what the exact question was.
How did you approach each other to have a conversation to set the meaning of words for each other? So no when, but if you have a when, go for it.
Typically it comes from an issue. So we're having a problem, we're having an issue, we address it, we dissect it, we break it down, we see where it stems from. And typically if it stemmed from like, let's say it was a trigger for me, and so I got annoyed and then it became a big thing, we'd go back and then we go, okay, this was the word, actually don't use that word, please use this word. Or when I was, let's say promise, I was like, but I really thought you were gonna do it. And you're like, wow, I didn't promise. And I'm like, but you said you were gonna do it. And you're like, okay, well, when I use the word promise, do we agree? Yes. So the words themselves and the acts normally come from a problem that we've had and we've dissected and come to a result and then said, how do we make sure we don't have the same problem again?
So I so love doing relationship stuff with you. Like this shit, I feel like it's untapped. Like the business stuff, we have like a really tangible example that our strategies work. And so we find ourselves always talking about that. But I'm more proud of our relationship than I am what we've done in business. So I'm really excited. Hopefully you guys dig the relationship stuff. It's on a totally different channel though. So if you want to follow what we're doing on relationship theory, you have to go to YouTube, relationship theory. And it's also on podcasts, again, under relationship theory. It will no longer come out on our other channels. So you have to go there, which I highly encourage you to do right now. Go to YouTube, go to relationship theory, subscribe. That would mean the world to us. We poured our heart and soul into this show. So check it out. And if you guys like it, then we will keep doing it. And if you don't, we will stop. So go over there and give it a sub, hit that notification bell, and share it with anybody you think could benefit.
I'm told also to link in bio, guys, if you didn't get all of that. And then also...
That'll take them to YouTube?
Sorry? Yes, it will take them to YouTube. Or you can do youtube.com/relationship theory.
Word.
And then also, guys, we just want to know what topics you want us to talk about. So we're very open and we talk about a lot. So just let us know what topics you want.
Indeed. All right. I think I have another podcast. This was only scheduled for 30 minutes, right? All right.
Yeah.
Sad. Sad, but gotta go. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Until next time, my friends, be legendary. Take care. Peace.